Hello and welcome to Streaming Without a Pedal. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted.
Today, Ted and I were touched.
Touch.
In a good way.
Touch.
It's not touched. It's touch.
It's touch.
Touch.
That's why I sang the song.
Yeah. This is a Prime Video original. No, it's not. It's a Prime Video acquisition.
Yeah.
Which is an original because it didn't hit the theaters here in the U.S. Because guess what? It's an Icelandic film. How often do we get the opportunity to say, today we're reviewing an Icelandic production?
I'm going to say that this is probably the only time in the history of this production we will say that.
Not... But are we done? No, we're not done.
We're not done.
Because not only is it an Icelandic production, its actors are primarily Japanese. And the Japanese language is primarily spoken.
Yep.
So, good news is that you don't have to turn the closed caption on your television when this is playing, because when they're speaking either in their native tongue of Icelandia, is that a word?
I think it's Icelandic, isn't
Icelandic? Or in the Japanese language, there are subtitles to this, but don't fret because it is mostly done in English.
Yep.
But there is Japanese and there is Icelandic language spoken. All right. You want to take the
synopsis?
Yeah, you want to break this down for our viewers?
Yeah. Basically, it is about an Icelandic man that has an illness and he is going downhill fast. And he decides to go find the girl that got away from 50 years ago. And the movie is primarily told through flashbacks of his time when he was a younger man in the late 60s, early 70s with this girl and his work at a Japanese restaurant in England when he was studying abroad.
Yes.
What was the illness? Did they ever exactly say?
I don't think they really mentioned or expounded upon what he was, I don't want to say suffering from, but, it was the underlying factor of his motivation to travel, to locate this young Japanese lady that he fell in love with while he was a dishwasher at a Japanese, and he he became a cook.
Yeah.
I mean, a chef, whatever you want to call it. He started preparing food. Mm-hmm. And this takes place back in, what was it, 50, 53, 57?
No, it's later than that because it's when Yoko and John got married.
Okay.
So like 68?
Well, okay. Yeah, all right. I can go with it. I'll make it easy. It's a period piece.
It's a period piece.
It is. And it's sad to think that I was born, I was alive, and I'm at the age where I can say that my early childhood is considered now in the motion picture industry as a period piece.
That's funny. This is like 1970.
Is it really funny? Is it really that funny, Ted? It's not.
Funny.
No. Because this is another one of these movies now that touches on getting older.
Yeah.
Which seems to be a reoccurring theme, because last week, what did we review? We reviewed another. We just brain fart.
What did we review? Which one?
No Good Deed.
No Good Deed.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, we did No Good Deed. That's what we reviewed.
Before that.
No. Well, I watched that Ted Danson.
Oh yeah.
Undercover at an old age home. So I'm getting a double barrel shotgun of reality when it comes to facing the music that I'm getting older.
Yeah, but you look great.
I appreciate it. I don't feel great though. I haven't been to the gym in forever, and my body aches. But anyway, enough about me and my personal issues.
I've been to the gym
Yeah.
in 3 days. My body aches.
3 days. It's been like 2 months for me.
Yeah.
I didn't make it through the Christmas season, and here we are 2 weeks into the new year. And anyway, so it's a touchy. Oh, I didn't even mean that. Touchy.
that.
It's a touchy subject.
Look at that.
It's a touchy subject with me getting older. So
I mean, it's everyone's. It's not everyone. It's most people's fear.
I don't see any purpose in it. I mean, I never thought about it until my father passed away a few years back now, and actually before that, when I watched his conditions deteriorate, and I found it seemingly cruel. The aging process, because he was sharp as a whip right up to the end.
Yeah.
Right up to the end. And I just know it's already frustrating for me. I'm not saying I'm sharp as a whip, but I'm smart enough to understand that my body's breaking down a lot faster than my mind is.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get into this movie, because this, in my opinion, I don't know what your opinion is on this. I think this movie deserves due diligence of our time, because I'm speaking very highly of this motion picture, even though it does touch on that touchy subject of mine, and that is getting older.
No, it was a really good movie.
It reflects upon youth, which when you get to be older, you do that. You look back, and
I mean, I'm 10 years younger than you, and I have the same exact feelings watching this movie that you do. And I think most people that are over the age of 35 feel that way.
It's
and I feel like if you're under 35, this isn't really made for you.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was something I just wanted to say is, and I would probably put it at 45, 40, 45. This movie's under that. You're not going to get stoked about this movie. You're not going to accept it for what it is, I think, in its message.
Yeah.
Because you can't really, really relate. Now, if you watch this movie at a younger age and you feel that there's somebody in your life that got away, or you ask yourself, what if, then you might be able to relate to it, because that's what this movie, and if we're doing a 30-second elevator pitch, it is about looking and going back and finding the one that got away.
Yeah.
The lost love.
Yeah.
So, you got a lost love, Ted? I know it's dangerous for you to answer, because you're still in the infancy of marriage.
Yeah.
So you can opt out if you want to, but I think we all do have somebody that we scratch our head and said, what if?
Well, I think I probably have the symbolism of what someone that I once dated at that time in my life would be like now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I dated a girl pretty seriously from like 23 or 24 to 27. I would be interested to see what she's like now for like 10 minutes.
Well, you just recently made a movie that touches on that very subject.
Right.
So
that's like a
mixtape.
Yeah. That's like a mashup of every girl I dated that worked at the subway of Hendersonville, which were like 4.
Okay.
It's like a mashup.
Dad,
Ladies, just there you go. So nobody sue me.
4 women at Subway. You're going through the ladies, or falling for the ladies like pulling cold cuts out of the bin.
Well, one of the girls on the dance team's dad owned Subway. All the girls that were Subway was the spot.
Dad's like, today I think I'm going to have a cold cut combo. Tomorrow's a BMT.
But I mean, the mixtape thing is a lot like, this is a higher brow version of what I made. Mine is more local and
I love this movie. I did. And I was going to just real quickly backtrack off of that word, but I don't think I'm going to. I think on a love scale, it crosses over the like into love. On a scale of 1 to 10 of love, I'm giving this a 3. When I say use the word love, I don't want you to go, oh my God, he's in love with this movie, but I did. I love this movie.
It was a really good movie. The performances were extremely understated and just really solid across the board from all unknowns.
Unbelievable.
Unknowns, unless you're
Unknowns.
Icelandic.
Or Japanese.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to like seek this out to watch it again, but you know what it reminded me of? That movie Once.
Okay.
You remember that movie?
I do.
Falling slowly. The music.
Yeah, right.
This reminded me of Once.
Okay. I don't know if I'd seek it out, but I would recommend it without reservation to anybody that, what about that movie? Or was it Touch?
If you're not a film fan, like a big film fan, I think that the reading of it is going to get to you. Even though most of it is spoken.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it's in English, more than half of
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's an easy watch. And let me just say this before I forget. It's 2 hours long.
Felt shorter.
It did. It really, really did. And, I not once did I go, oh, my God, I wish this thing would speed up or hurry up. And and I'm not a big fan of flashback sequences, or in this case, because I would say 70% of the film is actually a period piece when the showing the development of this young love between this Icelandic man and Japanese woman. And then 30% of it is modern times, the actual guy doing searching out for his lost love, Miko.
Right.
Miko, I love that name, Miko.
I bet this movie won so many awards.
Yeah, I didn't look that part up, but I tell you what I did look up, which really, really blew me away. You want a ballpark, a production budget on this movie?
I mean, I would say 1.5 to 2 million.
$750,000.
I don't know how they did that. They did that.
Well, they did it.
But how? I mean, they did it because everybody was scale.
Oh my.
They had to build a restaurant. Like, how did they do that?
Well, first of all, they shot it in Iceland. I mean, all the interiors. Here's the breakdown. What I read, I cannot confirm this. Well, I can confirm this because it was actually the director talking about it. They shot exteriors for 9 days in London. They shot exteriors and a few interiors for 15 days in Japan. And then everything else was interiors done in Iceland. So, now I don't know if that was on a soundstage or they just found somebody's house or restaurant or whatever they utilized. But the director didn't go into depth on that. But they didn't say how many actual shooting days there were. But I'm not real quick with math, but if you take 15 days in Japan and 9 days in England, that already puts you to 422 days of shooting. No, 24 days of shooting.
Yeah.
So, and the exteriors, it wasn't a heavy shot list. So I'm going to say that they shot this movie. It took 45 to 55 days of shooting.
That's a big shoot for 750 grand.
That's a huge shoot.
They must have had a 10-person crew.
I'm blown away.
Must have had a 10-person crew.
Well, I wonder if that. We had a conversation once that talking about how I would do things if I was shooting a film. I think we were talking about Carved. I think this is where it came up, and I said, okay, if they give me $2 million, I'm going to spend 75% of it on the actual production, and I'm going to reserve 25% of it to go back and do reshoots because of what it was. What it was, a horror movie. But anyway, I think what they did was they just said, guys, let's have some fun. Let's make a movie I bet you could come in. Well, we're not going to push it. We've got a little travel here. Some of you are going to go, some of you aren't. But we're going to make a movie and we're going to have fun doing it. But we don't. We want you to have fun.
I could see the part they shot in Japan being almost no crew whatsoever.
The director said in the interview that I read, which is funny to say, I read an interview. Not watched an interview. I read an interview. That shooting in Tokyo, and I think, if memory serves me correct, they shot 4 days in Tokyo, and it was absolutely horrible to shoot there because there was so much bureaucracy. And then they moved over to smaller towns in Japan, Hiroshima, and which they said the film commission there bent over backwards. They provided location scouts.
I'm sure.
And I mean, he said it was just such a breeze to shoot outside of Tokyo, but Tokyo was horrible.
Yeah, and just so everyone out there knows, just behind the scenes, don't shoot in a major city known for film. Don't shoot in Los Angeles. Don't shoot in New York. Don't shoot in Atlanta. Everywhere else, it's cheap.
Well, here's the thing. This is what happens, and I got a little bit of knowledge about this. I think what happens is that bigger cities come in and they try to price you out because they don't want to deal with you. The city of Orlando. I'm not saying them as a statement of fact. I'm just saying that because I shot there, and I knew it wasn't so, and I know it wasn't super easy, right? I mean, I have filmed in downtown Nashville, pull permits and all that stuff. And the Nashville crews are film community is very strong, so that was a breeze. But Orlando was a little bit more difficult. And I think what happens is the cities come in and they know that people want to shoot there, and they don't want to deal with it because they don't look at it from the standpoint of actual revenue like the locals that are hired. Mm-hmm. Get it, right? They get a little extra sales tax here and there, yada, yada, yada. But they try to price you out. I bet that's what bigger cities do now. They just go, all right, let's just, you know what? If we're going to have to deal with them, and we're going to have to deal with them, let's just make them pay for it.
Yeah.
And so there you go. That was that. But I was blown away when I read. Now, I can't verify $750,000 for a budget, but I'm amazed at this movie for what it did now. And having said that, I know it was an acquisition of Amazon, and it was not an original production because it was somewhat widely released in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, it made $2 million.
Yeah. I'm just curious to find out what Amazon would pay for the rights to do this.
Well, I'm looking at the trivia, and it says that they won the Iceland International Film Festival, and they entered it for the best foreign film at the Oscars this year.
So we'll see it come up.
I mean,
possibly.
I would think
it
so.
got a nod.
I would
think so too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And that might be the reason, actually, Amazon picked it up because it got entered.
Yeah.
Its consideration as a nominee. Because there's nothing more that a streaming service loves to do to throw Oscar nominated next to some of their showing.
That's true.
So anyway, all right, Ted, let's break this down into some numbers for our listeners here because they deserve it. If you're over 45 or 40, Ted said 35. I'm going to say 40. If you're over 40, this is a watch for me. Do you want to lead with your number, or do you want me to?
Sure. No, I can give a number.
All right, because
I would give it a must watch. I'd give it like an 89.
Okay, I was an 8.7 on this.
Yeah. Oh, he's directed some stuff.
Oh yeah.
He's directed some big boy movies.
Baltasar.
This is him taking. Let me make my art. This is his version.
Baltasar.
This is this guy's version of my mixtape. He was like, you know what? Let me go make a little thing. He directed Everest and Two Guns.
He's a handsome man.
He is a handsome man.
He's my age.
Contraband.
And that's Wahlberg was Contraband. That that had to be Everest. I forget who was in Everest. Adrift.
Everybody.
Adrift.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Goodness gracious. The Deep?
He's done a lot.
Yeah. Well, that explains how come, it was so well directed.
Yeah.
That's why those performances were what the performances were, because this guy knows what he's doing. Apparently, he's got people skills.
Yeah, he does.
There's some directors out there that kind of lack in that area. They don't have those, but he sure did. Anyway, all right. I'm speechless about this movie. I wish I could convey my inner emotion about this movie, because I was shocked how wonderful it was. You go into foreign films like this, or foreign-based films, with a little reservation, because I think our concept of movies in America are different from what foreign movies or foreign countries make, and that's their standard, and we have a different standard. Like, we're more, animated, over the top, shoot 'em up, bang bang, action driven movies. I'm getting there. I'm working around the long way. We're more action driven. Look at poor Kevin Hart. He's just trying to do everything action, right? Action. But this is a story-driven movie. There's not one gun in it.
No, I think it's great. I prefer this.
I didn't see one fight.
Nope.
There were like 3 love scenes, which were tastefully done.
It was just 2 people having a relationship talking.
It was. It was. It was amazing.
It's pretty great. I can't actually recommend it higher.
I can't either. I can't. I rank this up there with French Kiss as an American rom-com.
French Kiss.
Isn't that the one with Kevin Kline and Meg Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, they get on the train and go to France.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But this is a very low-key anti-drama. But yet, there you go. There you go. Ted, this is an emotional movie, not a dramatic movie.
Yes.
And there is a difference. So, and they call it a romance drama, and I don't think I would call it that. Romance emotional movie.
Yeah.
So, anyway. All right. Well, guys, watch it. You won't be disappointed, and you don't want to take our word for it here. Look at this. IMDb 7.4. That's
a 10 on IMDb.
That's unheard of.
If you're anything over a 5, you're like a 10.
That is unheard of. Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, my gosh. Critics, 92%. Viewers, 92%. Come on. Okay, so don't watch this movie. It's good.
Yeah.
You don't want to open your horizons up to wonderful things. So on that, I'm going to say thank you guys for listening to Streaming Without a Paddle. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ted.
Hey, Ted, there's another J-Lo movie coming out here. Oh, we're going to watch it. It will be our, believe it or not, in 2 years of doing the podcast.
4th?
It will be our 4th J-Lo movie.
J-Lo.
Oh, yeah. As David Letterman said, call the neighbors and wake the kids.
It's like torture.
We got a J-Lo review coming down the pike here.
It's like torture.
All right. Thanks, everybody.